Welcome to Sev at Scale podcast, the place where future innovators come to learn. My guest today is Mr. Kiran Shah MBE. He's a Kenyan-born actor and stunt double, and he's a guest who needs no introduction because he has been in many prolific films, and I'm excited to interview him today regarding his journey and his upcoming film. Kiranji, thank you for joining my podcast. My first question to you, I suppose, is what does acting mean to you? How do you see it as a form of service to others?
Thank you for having me here. Thank you. Uh, what does acting mean? Acting means because I'll always, from very young age, I wanted to be an actor. And acting to me is just all I know. But my career, I'm passionate about it, in a sense, really passionate. And it's something that me really creative. Yeah, something that I really enjoy.
Share your journey of breaking into the film industry and how did it all begin for you, going from Nairobi to Hollywood?
Right. Okay. I was born in Nairobi. As you said that, and yeah, and by the time I was about 7 years old, and watching Bollywood movies and Hollywood movies with my brother and a couple of my friends, I would go to, Saturday matinees and stuff like that for Hollywood movies. And by watching them, it inspired me that I want to be that. I want to be on a screen, doing what they are doing. I had no idea how much work would be involved in it or all that, but that was my dream. Happened from Kenya, but there was no industry as such in Kenya. So when we came to London in 1970, I came here with my parents. My brother was already over here by that time in London, and I went into the schooling. I was only about 12, going to be 13. And my dream never left. But what happened was I did my studies, I did that, and in 1973, I was doing all levels at that time, as we used to call it, and I was going to do my all mock all levels, and I think in September, October, or towards the end of the October, I picked up a magazine called Time Out. And at the back of the Time Out, on the last page, there was a theater board adverts for looking for actors. And I spotted one advert called from Red Buddha Theatre Company. It was a Japanese theatre company performing in London, but Stuntman Master, who owned the company and the director and the writer, and he wanted people from England or from London to join the company, and I applied, and I did first audition and then a recall, and even you in, and that's where it started from. My journey started from there, and then did a play called The Man from the East. The storyline was there in the life of Hiroshima and the bomb, and it was all visual with music, kind of a mime rock opera that we were doing, and I ended up working with Mask, and Stumbles taught me so much of how to work with mask, and you can't put it on, and you go to study it, and then you play with it, and then you play with it in front of the mirror until your body starts moving with the mask. The mask would be on the hand, not on your face, and you start, playing. So yeah, okay. So what happened was that after three years of working in theaters, I decided to go into into films and try my luck on that. And in 76, yeah, got into the movies.
You worked on legendary films such as The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and also Star Wars. Which project has been the most impactful for you and why?
All of them have been really brilliant. They're all different. Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit is one big story on its own, yeah. And I read the books when I was very young, like about the ring, when I, you know, came into this country. And I found those books in the library, and I started reading them, and it really got me into fantasies a lot. Uh, because that was a big influence on myself, I think, about fantasies and all that. And Star Wars, what happened with me was in 1976, like I said, I went into the movie. There was a big advert in a magazine called, I wrote a letter to casting director called office for this movie on 20th Century Building. So I went there for the interview. And when she heard that I worked on that theater company and I can work with mask, she got really interested. And she rang up the director and told him that, look, I found a little guy who's worked with mask. He knows everything. Maybe we should, talk to him. And made an appointment with the director. Went to the Ulster studio in London. And the director turned out to be George Lucas. The
Oh,
first movie of the Star Wars, The Hope. What had happened was, later on I found out that what had happened was that Kenny Baker, who did R2D2, had booked away from the movie in pre-production. And when I went into R2D2, and I was a tad taller, but I can still move the R2D2 by being a little bit crunched like that, but I can still do it and work it and make it work and all of that. And Lucas went, yep, no, that's good. We like what you are doing. Get fitted for the R2D2 and all of that. Oh, we did that. Now we are going before I can get the contract. Kenny Becker decided to come back, and it was their first choice, so they had to let me go. And Irene Lamb felt sorry for me and found me an agent, a child agency. And they started looking for me, and I got into my first movie called Kendallson. So that's how I started, in that.
Kiranji, I wanted to ask you, how did you transition from acting to stunt work? And what inspired you to take on both roles?
Right. What happened was, I didn't plan to be a stuntman. In my first movie, like I said, Kendallson, I was standing in for a girl. I was starting from bottom, not, as an actor, but standing in for a girl character. And I was dressed in a black long wig and a frock. And I was standing in, like, for the lighting and all that. And what happened was one day, a stunt coordinator called now late, would you like to do stunts? And I went, yep, I'll be involved and everything. And I went, yeah, I do, because I did not learn about breakfast and all that in judo, but I couldn't get about yellow belt because of my height and my weight, just really. I did that, and I told him that and showed him that, and he went, perfect. If you can do that, you'll be fine. And you can do stunts. God, that's where my stunt life started. And on the same movie, in the Pinewood Studio, I bumped into one of the producer came up to me, a guy called John Dark. He came up to me in a bar at lunchtime and saying, I keep looking at you, young man, what's your name? And I said, like, I'm Kiran, Kiran. And I'm doing a movie, and I would like you to come and see my director called Kevin O'Connor, and we can give you a little part if you can do that. And I went up and saw the director Kevin O'Connor, and the movie was called The People That Time Forgot. And what happened was I did a little bit of what he asked me to do, and did whatever he asked me to do, and then we talked about the character a little bit. And as I was walking away by the end of it, and I said, by the way, Kiran, you got it. This is your character. Go in that stunt movie, I got a break in the stunts, and I got a break in acting as well. My second movie.
You hold the Guinness Book of World Record as the world's shortest stuntman. How has this shaped your journey in the film industry?
I mean, it doesn't. Guinness World Record is a good to have in
Hmm.
one way. That record, and that record means that nobody shorter than me is still going into the industry. I'm still the shortest man in the world. Now, quite edged up. I'm into my 60s, and I'm kind of not doing, but I'm still working in stunts. Still says that I'm still around, and still as the smallest wing booker in the world, and I did that for fun. Yeah, the record is the Guinness World Record is there, telling people that I'm still in stunts, and it reminding other stunt coordinators that yeah, you're still working. But I got another record as well in Guinness World Book as a wing booker, and the wing booking is on a biplane, and you're straight up on the wing, standing up or sitting down, wherever, and you take off, and you are 1,000 feet off the ground, and the plane is doing the loops and all that stuff. Again, as a stunt people, we love to play. We love to have our thrills, even when we are not working.
What have been the biggest challenges for you that you faced in your career, would you say, and how did you overcome them?
Okay, let's start with the stunts. I've done everything in the stunts, everything that I could do, apart from knockdowns with a car. Yeah, I can't do that because I'm small in height, and the bumper comes to my shoulder. Oh, I can't really walk that. But otherwise, I've done I done body burns, half body burns to uh, parts of body burns and all that. I've done high falls, horse riding, coming off the horses and all that stuff, fencing, uh, you name it, water work. I can't even swim, but I found a wetsuit, and the wetsuit can take me afloat. Even without swimming, I can do the stunt. Like as soon as I found out that I can work with a wetsuit, and I started doing water work, jumping into rivers or doing whatever. And the biggest stunt I did in that was in a movie called Madeline. And Madeline had to fall into Riverside from a bridge near Notogram bridge. And I took that one on, and that was my big challenge. And then doing Titanic, before that was a big challenge as well. Doing a lot of kids, a lot of playing that Russian kid that Leonardo picks up, and the father comes and catches him. Oh, I played that. I played the girl. I played so many kids on that movie, drowning and jumping and all of that. Jackson was looking for little people,
Hmm.
in the workshops and asking few directors and in the industry. And my name kept coming up at the very top, like saying, if you can get Kiran, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. And what it turned out to be that because I'm small, like a hobbit, perfectly formed, and then people like me would do it, but And I went in there in the interview, and he told me that this is what's going to happen, this is why I need you. And so, and we were talking, and he said, "Go, how close can you get to an actor with their character and be like them with their character?" And I went, "Well, even if I can get to 70%, I'll be happy if we can buy that." And he went, "Okay, if it looks good, I'm willing to buy that." And he went, "What's your minimum?" And I went, 50. I can't go below 50%. Go between 50 and 70%, anywhere in that area. And we talked about that, and he went, "Okay, right." And I went into New Zealand, and a big challenge, this really big challenge, that are we going to pull it off or not? And what happened was, when I went to New Zealand and we did tests and everything, and it started working. I was working with a New Zealand actor and getting into his character and into that. And then when Elijah Wood and he came in, I started doing that, and I had a team of people working with me, and they were good, but not really extremely good. Put it that way with Mars. Go, I had to tell Peter that they can't do stunts, and they will be fine, but you can't really focus on them or all of that. And even okay, he had a meeting with producer called Barry, and you're going to do the stunts. And I was like, "Oh God, this is going to start from work." And I went, "Yeah, this is going to be a lot of work, and it can be really challenging now." And I took on that challenge, and I made it work. And Peter was really, really happy. At the end of the movie, he uttered the words that without you, we couldn't have done this movie. You made it so easier for us to do this movie. And I think Ian McKennell, in one of his interviews, has spoken the same thing. That, that because I managed to get the challenge right, that, made me really kind of like, yeah, I've done it.
Yeah.
And given what Peter really wanted.
What does receiving the MBE mean to you personally and professionally?
Professionally, people will know that I've been given this MBE. MBE is for the services to the film industry, right? And that's why I got this. And personally, it means to me that I've been recognized by the people of Britain. That Kiran Shah is one of the guys who's done a lot of right. I'm proud that I got that, and I'm really, really happy about that. And for my business, for my working life, there are people who have known that they are can understand this, or there must be something in there.
During the ceremony of receiving the MBE, I'm just a bit curious to know what was going through your mind at that time and when you were officially recognized for your contributions to being of service to the film industry.
Right, when I got the letter, and when I opened up the envelope, not knowing what was inside, and I read it, and I couldn't believe it. And I read it again, and I went, "Well," my brother was downstairs, and I took the letter downstairs, and I went, "Is this right, what I'm reading? What it says? Or is somebody playing a joke on me, or what?" He read the letter, he looked at all the marks and everything, and he goes, "Yeah, it's a training thing," and he didn't know until your name comes out. And my name came out on the king's official birthday in June, I think. And after that, I could tell everyone. But it looked like that was how, what happened, and it looked like that. And then when in November, well, in August, I got a letter saying that you need to come to Windsor, Castle, uh, and there we are going to have the ceremony where you are going to get your MBE, and you can bring three other people with you. And God took my mom, my nephew, and my niece, and we got into the Windsor. And as we were walking in, there were a lot of people. 65 people were going to get the award, but everybody brought three people with them. But then I thought, okay, I'm going to hold it, and then I finally was just few steps away from Prince William. And there was a guy with me saying, okay, this is what you need to do. Now you go there, you turn to him, bow, walk towards him, shake his hand, talk, walk back, bow, and then go away. When his second year and then I go ahead to remember all that, and it was like, yeah, okay. And once I did all, bowed to the prince, and then I went towards him. He came to me, and he started talking to me, and the voice that he came out with was very calming, and even that, and that's the kind of started calming me down, and then I started really talking to him really well, because that was really good. And then when after about 3-4 minutes or something like that of talk, then I bowed back to him again, stacked his hand, and walked away. My family walked behind me, you know, and we all walked away from the ceremony. It was really a brilliant ceremony, though.
Do you feel a sense of responsibility to inspire others, especially those from underrepresented communities, after receiving this honor?
It is a responsibility from the very beginning when I started as well, because when I started, there were very few. Yeah, I'm all been proud influencing our people from our community and from other communities to come into this industry. And yeah, I'm happy. I'm really happy that I'm doing that now, and I'm happy to talk to people if they want to be an actor, or even if they want to do stunts or whatever they want to do in the industry. I'm happy to talk about that with them and say, right, this is what you need to do, and this is how you need to do, and uh, and this is if you study that or do that, just the way you're going to get in. Then I'm happy to do that. So that is possibility I'm happy about.
Your creative process in film. Your upcoming film is set for release soon in Australia, I believe, and then there's a global rollout. Could you share anything about your role in the creative process behind this movie?
Yeah, the movie is called The States of Mind. It's
State,
a states
state.
state, yeah, of mind, and it's a kind of a comedy, horror comedy movie. And my character is called Professor Manchester, and he's running the what do you call it? Uh, a thing like having a yoga retreat, yeah, yoga retreat, and everything to do with mind and how to use your mind and all that, and what happens in the mind, and what you can go and how far you can go with the mind, and it's really fantastic. Tree Baker who wrote the script and who directed the script. He's written a really good script about all this, quite technical as well, and it's all about that. And then horribly everything starts going wrong and go, yeah, that's the idea about that. At the moment we are talking about it may come out in August, and then and then throughout the world. So let's see what happens with that movie. I'm really looking forward for that movie to come out.
You've been a scale double for iconic characters like Frodo and Bilbo. What is your approach to preparing for physically demanding roles like this, especially as a stunt performer?
Well, I mean, I did stunts for them. I did skill stunts for them, and I did body acting, not body, but it's like being in character acting
Okay.
for them. Yeah, because whatever Elijah did, or Sam, or Pippin, or Mary, or Bilbo, whatever they did, I had to pick up on that, and I had to replicate in some sense, replicate what they were thinking, what they were feeling at the time with that character. And so I had to speak to them, I had to study them. So I started with watching their videos in 1999. Yeah, I went to New Zealand. We were still into videos and stuff like that. Because we were watching videos and DVDs and whatever it was. And I started watching a lot of movies of Elijah Wood. So what was happening was I was studying the actors with their videos and all that, all five of them. Because the reason I had to study all five, then I had to go teach my team what to do with it as well. But it didn't work out that well, even before we started filming. What I did was looking at them, what was how would they carry their character in the movies, and start really studying what they were thinking, what was hopefully going through their mind and stuff like that. And once I did that for a few weeks, and then after that, when I started to talk with Elijah Wood and Sean Astin and all that, and then I was, started working with them and my team. And when I found out my team wasn't that, they were good, but not that brilliant. And go after that meeting with Peter and Barry Osborne, that they told me that you're going to do all five of them for stunts and for whoever is leading the scene. I had to get in that character and do that. Go, yeah, it was really good when I started doing that, because the whole idea was that I had to study their dialogue. I had to know what they're feeling, what they were supposed to be feeling, if they were happy, sad, or as Frodo is getting more and more anxious and more darker and darker. So I had to go with that as well to quite the limit until they didn't need me for quite a few last part of the movie, because there were only two of them. And go, but I had to go through that journey with all five characters. Uh, go, it was a challenge, like I said, that I had to remember all the dialogue. I had to remember their movements. I had to remember their mannerisms of what was happening while they were filming. If they were picking up a cup, where from, how, where. But being humans, we humans change things in every take. It was quite impossible job to do. And then I had to talk to Peter which take we are going to go with, or which take you're going to cut into and all that. And then we had to work out from three takes. Okay, let's go with that or that, or try all three. It was a good challenge, and with that, it was a really, really brilliant thing for me. Was the challenge was that how far I can go with my body, not with my own character, but with somebody's character. How far I can go with that.
Actually, there was a lot of method acting involved. So,
Mm.
going into the character, you've worked alongside some of the biggest names in cinema. Are there any behind the scenes moments that have stayed with you?
There are so many. There are so many. I mean, when I worked with Christopher Reeves on Superman, when I was still devil for him, you can say that I did the flying swords for him. all the flying in the distance to make him look in the distance. And behind the scene, it was funny that Christopher would come up to me when he was on the set with me on the flying unit. He'll find me and he'll come up to me and he'll go, "Right, Kiran, have you got a cigarette?" And we'll go in the corner and have cigarette and stuff like that. That's one thing. Superman having fun behind the scene. Uh, when I'm flying and it's like going, the stunt people are mucking around and all that, and you want to muck around with them because you start playing with them. On Lord of the Ring, I really bonded with Viggo Mortensen. Really well. What happened was the first movie when he picks him upstairs and throws him, and he didn't throw me in the room. He just placed me in the room, and I went, "This is not going to work. Peter is not going to like that." And Peter literally after cut told him, "No, you need to throw him." And I went, "Throw me, we'll go." Again, he kind of placed me, throw me, but he placed me again, but a little bit further. And I was going, And Peter said the same thing to him again. And third time he did it, yeah. And after third time, before Peter could say anything, I went, "Look, can I talk to Viggo?" And Peter go, "Yeah, go and talk to Viggo." And I took Viggo around the corner and I went, "Viggo, punch me, come on. You can punch me." And he goes, "No, no, no, no." And I went, "Look, I'm a stuntman, you can punch me." And he really punched me. But because I padded up, I didn't feel anything. And I was like, "There, it's fine." And I went, "Look, I'm padded up. You can really throw me." And he picked me up and literally threw me and I was off the set.
Oh.
Desperately. And Peter loved it. And we did one more take just to keep him on set. But and after that, once Vico found out that I could do that, he would come and tackle me and I would tackle him. And we used to kind of play a rugby thing and wrestling thing and whatever. So we really bonded that way quite a lot. Uh, on when I did Legend with Tom Cruise, Ridley Scott movie called Legend. And bonded with Tom Cruise on that one. And we started, instead of creating like that, we were like, doing like that and stuff like that. So, there are a lot of things that happens and there are a lot of stories around me of, having fun with people behind the scenes.
In addition to acting, you're also a published poet. So, how has poetry influenced your career and what role does it play in your personal life?
Poetry started when from Kenya we moved to India. We were going to settle, my parents and I were going to settle down in India. But my dad didn't like the weather. He couldn't stand the weather. He was sick, throwing up every day. And he decided to come to London and and join my brother. And he did that and he loved it. He worked really well. And he wrote a letter to my mom saying, "Okay, be prepared to come to London." This was in 69. And in 1970, in June, I think we got into London, my mom and I. And what happened was because in three different cultures, Indian culture, Kenyan Indian culture, then Indian culture in India, and then coming over here, seeing this, English culture and all that, that really got me thinking about the world that we are all same and yet we behave differently and we do this and all that. And it something clicked in my mind and I started writing poetry. And, of course, that's how we started. And poetry helps me whenever I feel down. And if the poem comes out, then I'm really happy. It's good. I write poem. Poem is my tool
Hmm.
to say what I think. They are my thoughts, basically.
Yeah, that part where you said that you had the um, experience of three different cultures, India, Kenya, Britain. I think, as my dad always says, at least, that traveling is one of the best forms of education. So, if not the best. So, definitely, I think it has helped give you a perspective of and of the world, and then that ties in directly to your poetry, and both acting and poetry parallelly, they both come from the heart, I suppose. So
Yeah.
yeah, fascinating to hear.
I
um
mean, I
hmm,
mean, I'm still traveling a lot with my work,
yeah.
and I'm really happy to meet different cultures, different people. I can still see that we are changing and where we are going, and so much. God, there is so much to write about. Still, I'm still writing a lot as well.
Who or what inspires your creativity, whether in acting, stunts, or poetry? Is there a particular actor or anyone or any aspect perhaps of these subjects?
As an actor, right, you are always learning on sets. Actors, my idea, what I've been taught is that you have to people watch, you have to watch animals and whatever, and pick up things from that. Yeah, you're always learning. You're always learning. It's not bad. That okay, it's bad. It's not going to be that. If you create a character and you think about uh, your character, and maybe I need to do another line. Okay. What I'm thinking about it, like, what happens then is with the character, when you read the script and you find out what the storyline is and where the storyline is going to be from. And then you give the history. Or you have to start from when you were born and what your journey was till you catch up with where you are, or you give that character that history, and then whatever wherever the script ends, whether you die or whether you carry on, and you have to give the future that what your goals are, that character goals are going to be, what it's going to reach out for, what it needs to do, what it's going to be, and where it's going to be, and all the stuff. You have to work it out yourself. And once you've done that, then you can create your character really well. Uh, when I did Narnia, complete really great example of this was I already knew what I'm going to do as a guinea brick, already planned. And then one day in pre-production, Andrew asked me and Tilda Swinton to come into the office and wanted to talk about the characters. And he said, I yeah, asked Tilda what about her past would be and all that. And she said that. And he asked me, oh, how are you going to do your character, bro? What do you think? Now, when look, I'm basing a little bit on myself. I used to get bullied in schools in Kenya, in London. And then I think Skinners came to my rescue in London. And after that, I never got bullied, but it was good. And what happened was I passed a little bit of that. And I turned around to Andrew and I went, look, Kinoprik is going to be a guy. And what happened is that Kinoprik goes on the journey. And then he gets to the end of it, go, works hard and start climbing. And he goes to the queen. And Andrew went, go with your goal in, your end goal of the story. And I went, well, I am looking at one point that one day the white witch is going to muck up, and that's when I'm going to kill her, and I'm going to, get the empire or whatever it's going to be. And I told that and killed her. I'm going, what? And Andrew went, wow, that's a big dream for a little dwarf. And I went, yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. And Killer going, oh, okay, right, now we know what we are playing. And then, we literally started playing that game. And then we kept that game going on when we were in front of the camera. Go, and that really worked in a sense, because that's how actors have do their characters, that they have to have a full history if and future plan or something like that. And then you can really go with your character. And but then again, what happens is, because I've been taught to be people watch, and in the buses, in the tubes, metro, wherever. And I watch people, and you can see so many different characters in people, the walks, the mannerisms, all of that. And if you start remembering few of them or quite a bit of them, then you can put them into different characters as well.
Okay, that's intriguing. And what's next for you? I know we spoke about a bit earlier in this episode about your upcoming film, but perhaps could you share a bit more about that and that's releasing this year? And please, could you share about more, if you're comfortable with that, of course, a sneak peek into the movie, I suppose.
This of mine, I would say, it's like a comedy horror. It's all about brain, how
Yeah.
brain works and all that, yeah. But apart from that, I can't say anything more than that.
Okay.
Uh, like it's a retreat for yoga and all that stuff, right? That's that. In the future, I'm waiting for two projects to take off this year, hopefully. And if they, I mean, one of them is going to take off, but I can't really talk about anything of that.
Are there any projects or even personal goals, creative pursuits, perhaps in poetry or film, you're excited about?
Yeah, I'm excited about started writing a script with a friend called Fabio. He's in Portugal. Go, yeah, we are writing a script. Let's see what happens to that. I can't talk anything more about the script, what I'm doing.
Kiranji, that was all my questions for today. Thank you for joining my podcast once again. It's been a great pleasure having you on.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and it was really fun to talk with you.
Likewise, thank you.
Thank you.